We have we call it the group meeting today. It's a little bit lower with the holiday coming up. Daniel, let's get into the first slide after we let RL in.
Robert's here.
Okay. All right. So just a quick announcement: the office will be closed on Thursday and Friday, so you guys can still access with your keys and fobs and all that good stuff. You need to come in and do any work. But the staff will not be here this Thursday and this Friday. Tell us some good. Who's got some really cool stuff?
My daughter had her first Friendsgiving.
Awesome.
So started with a 10-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
I'm now don't want any Thanksgiving dinner.
Who else? Anybody else got anything good to share?
I mean, I see my family once a year, so I'm gonna see them in 2 days. So they don't see back. They're like all over the place, but see you usually Thanksgiving, Christmas, they all my cousins.
Very good.
Super excited.
Yeah. Yeah, my youngest daughter's 18th birthday was on Sunday, so that was kind of our weekend a little bit to have some good family time. So and she's knee-deep in colleges right now, applying for colleges. She applied to 7, and so far she's got acceptance I think 4, 7. So
Stay close.
she applied to the school in New York, 1 in Chicago, 2 in Washington, and 3 in California. She had her preference. I think she probably will end up in Washington because the school she really wants to go to be the University of Washington.
Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, she wants to be a She was born in Washington. So she kind of got it in her blood anyway. So yeah, I would definitely much prefer that than New York. It's where she wants to go school in New York, it's really close to Manhattan, and rent rates. I'm gonna need to take 3 more jobs if she gets in there. All right, anybody else?
I would see them first.
All right. Any needs and wants as far as clients that you have, looking for properties, any listings that are maybe coming up, or is there anything that you guys specifically need some assistance with? Now, anybody in Zoom land have a new listing that's popping up or anything like that? All right. Well, if you think of something, drop it in. Daniel, let's get moving on. We got a few more things to go over today. It says gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. What is that for today? I'll stand a little closer to the camera so you can hear better. So again, I'll read it one more time. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow.
Be grateful.
Be grateful, obviously, but what does being grateful do? It's not just a matter of being grateful. What is this? Being grateful does what according to this book?
It's help contextualize some of the things that have happened to us that we've experienced. So it's easy to get caught up in mistakes or things you could have done, but you be grateful for everything you've learned, and that helps you kind of moving forward, figure out how you can take those lessons and better the next.
Yeah, I really like that because ultimately the process of being grateful allows us to think about the things that we're positive about an experience. Because sometimes we have bad experiences and we dwell or reflect on the negative aspect of stuff, we stay there, right? Where when we focus on what we're grateful for that happened, whether it's good or bad, what did I learn from that? So it allows us to reflect, as it says, kind of on the past, to then help us see a better way to move forward, right? And so If you don't already do it, maybe just practice a little bit of gratitude every day and the things that you're grateful for, because it will help you, see positive, it'll help you learn, it'll help you grow, and it'll help you do better. Okay? Cool. Next slide, Daniel. Let's thank Sean for our amazing our meetings and our meeting.
So last week I was at the 2025 business planning, and I shared this one little bit with you guys. First American is now doing a welcome call 30 days after the close of escrow. I want to reiterate, this is not a welcome call, this is not a sales call. This is just a call to let them know that they have a home warranty, what's included. They also have 60 days to change it or maybe add something, or perhaps something was like coverage on where it doesn't exist in the home, like refrigerator coverage, and maybe there's no fridge. So it just goes over, it lets them know how to access their portal, how to place claims, let them know that they have it, because most of the time, I want to say seriously, like 75% of the time, homeowners close escrow and they don't even know that they have this. And the sellers pay for it, and it's sad because they can really use it for that first year. So lots of things happen during that first year. So I did talk about this, and then that's basically it. I just want to say thank you guys for the support over the last 8 years now with you guys. And that's it.
Thank you for all that you do, Chris. Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's always there. Or if there's a problem. Last month, my own house, I've been buying from First American for the last 30 years.
You were buying Sean when you didn't buy it? I know.
Sometimes it's the wrong way, but last time I had whole family coming for 100 years, 101 first year. They were talking us about working, so I had to call Sean. I had to, she sent another phone, so thank you so much. Yeah, she's always there. I'm sure she doesn't want me to say that, but she's there.
Oh, 100%. And I never really about with you. We appreciate the food, but we appreciate the Sean. You do a lot more than food. Awesome. All right, Daniel, a couple closings we want to celebrate. Congrats to Wendy on her closing in Torrance and Lisa on her closing in Inglewood. Great job. And then Amy on the property on Crown View in RPV. A couple new listings that have popped up: 69 630 Ridge Road in Ranches Palos Verdes, 2,500 square feet. It's a rental for about $6,000 a month. If you have somebody interested, reach out to Alicia Enrique. Bree Davis has a property on Normandy in LA, 1,920 square feet for $639. And then John has a property in San Pedro, 735th Street, a little over 1,000 square feet for $2,700 a month for a rental. And then a couple an off-market listing as well. Raymond has a property in Torrance for 2.2. Buyer agent commission, their offering is 2%. Rent roll is about 147 annually. Cap rate of 5.55 and a GRM of 14.97. So it's 5 units. If you have an investor looking for an opportunity, this one is not from the MLS, but it is available right now. You can reach out to Raymond. Okay. Really quick, want to go over this in case you didn't hear. Dustin, who is one of our amazing partners, weeks ago, his daughter Paige passed away. She's only 11. We haven't really been talking about it too much because when that happened, Dustin really did not want to be connected with for at least a couple of weeks. I told Dustin I probably would want to be connected for a couple of months. And so basically, we haven't really been encouraging people to necessarily reach out to him for a little while to give him some time. to download and process that. Dustin's been a really great supporter, not just because of what he contributes with breakfasts and sponsoring and things like that. Really amazing guy who's always there for us. That goes way above and beyond a lot for us as well too. And his family and him are definitely hurting right now. And one of the things that Dustin wanted to share with us is they don't need any financial support, and they don't necessarily want flowers and things like that soon. One of the things that his daughter was really passionate about was horse riding. And so basically, a couple things. There's Celebration of Life is going to start on Monday, December 2nd, at 4 p.m. At Coast Hills Church. If you have the ability to make it down there to go support Dustin, that would be great. And then the QR code is basically, Daniel, a link to kind of a website where if you wanted to donate some money, I believe, to an equestrian foundation, then that's available there too. But really devastating news, and definitely big condolences to Dustin and his family, and I know that we all appreciate everything. Okay.
So that's next Monday. Just also FYI, a lot of our staff are gonna go and going to we won't.
Okay, upcoming classes and events. Not a lot because it's the end of the month and we're not going to really teach any classes before December. So just want to put a couple promotions up here. Family reunion in Las Vegas is coming up on February 17th through the 21st. Like I said, if you haven't been before, one of the things that's really great about family reunion is one, you get to kind of, I think, tap into one of the most underutilized aspects of KW, and that is we have about 180,000 agents inside of our organization, and we have a massive organization of people who are, the type of agent that Keller Williams tends to attract are people that are learning based, that want to grow and want to share ideas with each other, which is really unique because that doesn't exist everywhere. And this really lets you kind of like tap into that, because we have agents from all over the world that come to this event. We have some of the top agents in the world that are going to be presenting some of the things that they do that help them be really, really successful, regardless of what the market's doing. So it's just a really great place to go and learn and network. And that's what I was saying. I think one of the underutilized things about being with KW is, as agents, sometimes we tend to put ourselves in silos. We put our head down and we just kind of stay in our own little world or our own little lane, where if you just kind of open that up a little bit and expose yourself to some of the other ideas and things that people are doing inside our organization, that's where we have a really, really big, powerful tool. Because, hey, you know what, maybe the type of real estate that I want to do, or maybe the way I want to lead my real estate business, maybe nobody's doing that specifically here. Well, somewhere in Keller Williams land, there's somebody who's doing what you want to be doing, and being able to connect and tap into that really, really, really valuable thing, right? Plus, it's a good time. Lots of good people that you can make new friends and hang out with some people that are already friends with you as well too. And if you go, then you can help me celebrate my birthday, because it actually starts on right
17th?
17th.
Ah,
All right,
I believe there's
we'll do a quick video. I like the slot machine kind of intro. So it's in Vegas too. So if you like Vegas, I actually personally don't go to Vegas. But if you like Vegas, it's in Vegas too. So it's really, really close. And I haven't gotten any confirmation yet, but there's a good chance you don't get to hear me speak too, because at least for the last 4 or 5 family reunions, I've been a presenter as well too. So, that's that. Any questions about family reunion? Daniel just couldn't get enough of it, so we don't have to watch the replay. Alright. Need to get out of the press escape key. There we go.
My bad, guys.
You just really like that song. All right, Jeff Glover is coming to LA. And if you don't know Jeff, Jeff is a mega agent out of Michigan. One of the top agents in Keller Williams, actually. Great presenter, does a really great workshop. I know several really, and I'm not talking about like inexperienced agents that wouldn't necessarily know the difference between really good training and training that wasn't that great. I know a lot of really high performing top agents that go to his stuff multiple times a year because they say that it's really just that good. So really unique, great opportunity to hear from one of the best in the business. I believe the fee is only like $49, something like that. It's going to be the W Hotel in Westwood. That is going to be Thursday, December 12th. And it's not like a massive all day event either. It's from 9 o'clock to 12:30. And in addition to Jeff, there's going to be a panel of other top agents as well too, that you can go and learn from. So really great opportunity because, like I said, a lot of top agents that I know really swear by a lot of the trainings that Jeff teaches, and I've heard Jeff speak multiple times. Great presenter. Any questions on that? Okay, QR code, you can register and that gets you in. Early birds, we didn't really do an early bird today because not a lot of people showed up today. My 2 or 3 normal regulars. But again, Tuesday mornings before the team meetings, we're doing early birds, and basically what that is, we're just talking about conversion access. Where my focus is right now in terms of providing an education for you guys, is that ultimately, I think the biggest challenge that we're facing right now is we just don't do a good enough job. Not speaking specifically about you guys, but just as an industry, we don't do a good enough job with follow-up, and we're going to go over some stats on that here in a minute too. So that's Tuesday mornings from 8:30 to 9:50. Okay. Want to talk a little bit about the coat drive. We do this every year. Haroldine Gearhart was a Keller Williams agent. He had a real passion for helping underprivileged youth. Unfortunately, Haroldine passed away not long ago, but we're keeping her memory alive by continuing to do a coat drive for the organization that she was so passionate about. So basically, if you wanted to donate food or clothing, we asked that it's not like old beat up ratty clothes or anything like that, but if you have some coats that are new or new-ish, make sure that you drop those off to Daniel. We're going to keep collecting until December 3rd, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have anything, make sure that you bring it in. Yeah.
Also, I just want to make along these lines, at Peninsula Top House, we're doing a toy drive for the Boys and Girls Club in Harbor City. So if you guys bring in a new toy, unwrapped toy, you get a free beer. One free beer per business per person. First holiday. Go outside the door, back in, then you can get it.
So it's like 10 toys. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good worthwhile thing as well too. And go see Robert at Robert's place. Okay. Any questions about Haroldines? Okay, cool. Football pool weekly. Not here with Marlene once again, right? And I talked to Marlene. Marlene is not like football genius. So her husband picks all the winners for her. So I don't know if we need to put a stipulation in there next year on it. Has to be you making the picks, but we got 11 of the games correct. So we got a nice Starbucks gift card for, well, control, you know. Alright, so if you want to participate, they're on the desk there, just make sure that you get that to Daniel before Thursday.
Good one, give it to me today.
Gotta get it to Daniel by tomorrow. If you don't get it, he's not gonna be here. Right? So yeah, make sure to put that in if you want to participate. It doesn't cost anything. Can win, have a little bit of fun, and then we got some cool stuff that we're gonna do once we get into the playoffs with this. Okay. Cool. Brooke, she has her power hour third Thursday. That is gonna be December 19th. It is now mandatory for the people that are in her productivity coaching program. So if you're in her PC program, you need to be here. And that is at 3 o'clock. There won't be a Zoom on that. Now, Brooke really talks about some really great topics, and it's not necessarily geared just towards new agents. You know, it's even if you're a seasoned agent, there's some really good things that we talk about during these sessions and you know, from open houses or you know what's going on in our market. So highly encourage everybody to come to that as well too, because I know Al comes every single time and he brings a lot of wisdom that he's you know had from being in real estate for a really long time. Brooke has been in real estate. I know he doesn't look that old, but Brooke's been in real estate for like 26 years. And then you know I been in real estate a little bit less than that, so about 22 years. So I think just between three of us, there's about 100 years of real estate experience, right? You know, I really highly encourage everybody to come to that because the more that we can hang out, like I said, is one of the reasons I like teaching is I always tell people I learn more from teaching than people that I'm teaching. And so that's why I'm passionate about doing it. Because yeah, do I have valuable things I can share to people when I teach? Yeah. But at the same time, the reason I learn more is I have stuff in my own head, but every time that I teach and I get to interact with people, now I get the collective experience of everybody that's in the room, and I can take things that maybe I haven't considered, or hey, there's an idea that I want to do, or yeah, I've been struggling with this and I haven't been able to figure out how to get around it. But somebody in the room has gone through that and maybe has found a way to make it better, right? And so I think sometimes we get into the mindset, you know, if we've been doing something long enough to where it's like, I know everything already. That's more for new agents. I can't, you know, that's not going to be beneficial to me. I never take that approach because the thing is it possible for a brand new agent to go to an open house and to experience something in the open house that I've never experienced before? And can I learn from that situation, even if I've been in the business for, you know, 30 years? Yeah, right. And so I think that it's really important that we all work together. You know, I know the last couple of years have been tough, especially for a lot of agents, and we're just better. You know, that's one of the acronyms for KW would hold is together everybody achieves more, which is, you know, T. And I think that, you know, being able to get a room full to mastermind and to work together is just going to make everybody strong. And I don't think there's anybody outside of maybe Stephen that could sit there and say, hey, I hit all my goals in 2020. Right? Cal, you want to add anything to that?
No, you got it covered.
Cool.
Even now.
All right. So make sure that you show up. And the really cool thing about showing up with that too is afterwards we go to our happy hour. And this next time,
This was last week.
this was last week. So we had a nice big pool table of agents and we were sharing and having a lot of fun. But this next time we're not going to the Red Onion, we're going to Rob's place.
Wow, thank you so much.
So that's going to be on December 19th from 4 to 7. We're going to go hang out at Rob's place down in the Tap House. It's down in the Golden Cove Shopping Center, so it's pretty easy to find. Just head in and off a little bit longer. And so make sure that you bring a toy. Bring lots of toys. All right.
Since it's the first time, I'll get the first round.
That's the.
I love you, Robert.
So you've been around the place already.
And chops.
Awesome. I love it.
We're gonna start the toy thing this coming Monday. Gonna have the big box there, yeah, and you can donate. I think we're taking it over there on December 20th.
There you go. This is the final drop. Right?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's like it's-
I don't you guys at home a little bit. Betty was like, can we go every day? All right, so we're gonna go, but Betty and I are gonna go every day in December, right? So 12 days, or 12 days of Christmas, 12 days of Tap House.
I'll be there.
All right. All right, so that'll be that on that day, and then we have our silver and gold holiday gala coming up. Dinner, drinks, dancing, and raffle prizes. Make sure that you guys are have RSVP for that.
So you guys have to scan the QR code, input your phone numbers, and then from then on, you'll be receiving messages until the day of. So we can't do that for you guys. Please do that.
Yeah, that's gonna be Wednesday, December 11th, at 6 to 10 p.m. at the Carson Event Center in Carson. And please scan that to RSVP. The event is going to be a combined holiday party, so we're doing, both all three of the market centers, and then our commercial crew that for our commercial branch as well too. And so it'll just be a really good time to hang out and have a couple of drinks, have a really good dinner. And be able to socialize and network as well too. Any questions on that? It is silver and gold, so try to dress up a little bit better than you might normally do.
Yeah, tuxedos.
I actually am gonna wear my tux because I was like, I thought to myself when my wife bought my tux for my daughter's wedding, I was like, I'm probably never going to wear this again. Now I got an excuse, so I'm gonna actually wear my tux, right?
And this goes with every single offices. It's free for the agent, but if you're gonna bring a +1, it is an additional $50.
Okay.
So you can talk to Paige about it, and then you guys are good to go.
Cool. Any questions on it? Right around the corner.
So another, it's a week away.
Cool. Top tips with brands.
Got a few things for you today. There's flyers at everyone's desk. We're talking about those first. I just kind of wanted to provide some resources for you, for maybe like people trying to diversify their client base. You're gonna want houses, working with traditional buyers and sellers, but it's always great to like really try to find different types of clients in your client base. So I highlighted, if you look at that thumbnail there and then go to that QR code, I recorded a video how you can use one of our Fidelity National Title products called Total Farm. This would allow you to get all that homeowner data for free, build those farms. And one of the specific groups that I think could be really helpful for people moving forward would be two filters that we have. That would be buy and hold and fix and flip. So what that would allow you to do is build a farm around any area. Buy and hold would help you find landlords, so people that own multiple properties in an area. So really nice to connect those people. Those will be people that might be buying more properties in the future. They're not just like buying that home that they're living in for 30 years. They might be trying to build a portfolio, so it could be really nice buyers. Also, they might be selling some of those properties to move up to higher type of property, apartment buildings, etc. Fix and flip helps you find property owners who have bought and sold multiple properties in an area. So that'd be flippers. So really nice way to find people that are actively flipping in an area. You can connect with them, try to help them find some deals, get another buyer in the pipeline that's not just a traditional buyer, buying one property every 15, 20 plus years. So if you scan the QR code, that'll show you the video, how you can do that with a Total Farm. I'm assuming some people don't have the account. So if you see that video, you're like, hey, I want this, and you set this up for me, just scan this other QR code, it'll email us automatically. We'll create the account for you, send you all the credentials and show you how you can get started on that app. And also too, the nice part, actually, sorry, before I go into that, here's what it looks like. So this is just like a sample farm I have in this account. So this is an MLS area in San Pedro. I think right now it's like 3,000 plus records. But the beauty in this app is being able to filter all the data down. So like I'm just trying to find the buy and hold people. I can come to this farm filters drop down at the top of the page here. And then I have this navigation bar, and this is where I have that buy and hold filter. So I basically just come in here, click buy and hold. Now this farm is going to go from 3,000 or so records down to 367. So now like I could really make a good push in that area, find all the landlords in that area and start competing within that. So really helpful account. And on the flyer, I mentioned some of the other filters that are in that same app. So it's not just a buy and hold, fix and flip. You can really easily find out of state or absentee owners, people that haven't filed a homeowner's exemption. That's just a super easy touch point to get in front of somebody, help them file this nice tax saving exemption that they have on their property. Empty nesters are people that have owned the house for a really long time, have a ton of equity, and are probably Prop 19 candidates. Super helpful to let them know about that. And then stayers and ready to sell. So if you're trying to find maybe people that are more likely to sell, given like market stats or demographic information, this filter will help you find them. So just take a look at that. If you wanted to count, always let me know. And then we always have materials for you to share with people too. So we're kind of trying to find some templates to be able to share with people. We have this nice one which talks about top 10 rental property tax deductions. So if you're trying to reach out to those landlords, that's a great flyer to be able to share with them and say, hey, here's some tax savings that you can have as a landlord. If you're trying to reach out about the homeowner's exemption, we have flyers on that. Prop 19 flyers on that too. So we have a lot of information for you, not only to find the people to reach out to, but the material to reach out to them as well. So you can always just contact us if you have like a target audience in mind, that we likely have something for you. And then to finish up, I wanted to talk briefly about some updates that we have to our property profiles. So these are things we can send to you for free anytime. So let's say you have a listing presentation coming up, or maybe you're working with a buyer and you're about to put an offer in on a couple of houses. So you just give us the addresses, and then our customer service department's going to email this over to you. So obviously what it has, also before I go into it, we can get really nice printed versions of these too for your listing presentations. So let's say you have a listing presentation in a couple of days. You give us this address, we're going to mail it to your office for you in a nice booklet for you with all of this information. It's going to come with property information from the assessor, property characteristics, the subject property full chain of title, so you can get some nice research here, subject property history. I'm just speeding through this because I want to get to the update, but comparable sales, which are really nice, map out for you too, and you get all the information on those. But some of the nice updates to this that we have now are neighborhood schools. So I think this would be really great if you're working with buyers. So maybe you're showing them houses in an area you're not really familiar with, maybe they're not really familiar with, have one of these reports emailed to you. It's going to lay out all the schools. It's going to show them the student teacher ratio for that school too, so they get a sense of that school all listed out for private and public schools. So I think that's really nice, not only even for your buyers, but even like listings too. So you can have these at your open houses, and anyone that comes into that open house that's not familiar, they're going to see all that school information. Then also demographic profiles too. So this will talk about a neighborhood. They'll talk about things like the age distribution for an area. So if someone's trying to move into an area, they get a sense of the age of the other homeowners in the area, income levels, et cetera, et cetera. So like I said, anytime you wanted this for a buyer or seller that you work with, just let us know. We have it emailed to you same day. And then printed versions, we can get it to you same day or next day, just depending on when you ask us for that information. So that's it for today. These are just some resources that we have at your disposal. Anytime, just text us if you need some of these resources, or if you have heard of a resource that you wanted to see if you have it. We likely do, so we just like to view ourselves as a part of your team. We don't really succeed unless you do, so we're just trying to help your businesses grow as best as we can. So thank you.
Great resource as always. We can always count on Grant. All right, Daniel, next slide. So want to kind of go over a little bit more, but we can get off the slide deck now because I don't have any slides after that. Now, I'm going to go over conversions. I just really, like I said, on this tangent about conversion, right? So I've got a little quick stat. 80% of closed sales require how many Palos? 7? Anybody else? Statistically, it's actually 5, right? Percentage, I'm not going to write that out, but what percentage of people do you think don't make a second attempt, or third, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth? only make 1 in 10. About 44% of all sales people, of all real estate agents, only make 1 in 10. Right? So if we're not continuing to follow up, we think about it like this. If you all are competition for real estate, which, I mean, you guys aren't necessarily competing against each other, but let's just say that everybody in this room is a real estate agent. Do you think that this half of the room is going to probably be much more successful than this half of the room if they do 5, 6, 7 follow-ups? Because they recognize the side only going to be 1, right? So you can automatically make yourself better than half the real estate agents in Los Angeles by making the second call. That blows me away. You think about it. You can eliminate half of your competition just by making the second call. Right? And now I don't have stats for that, but if 44% don't make a second call, how much do you think that drastically declines when you start getting into the second, third, fourth, fifth? Right? And Mark King, who's our president, always, and I brought this up recently too, but I think it's one of my favorite quotes that I say a lot. Is it's really lonely in that extra mile. But that's where you make your money. Because ultimately, right? Lots of people make 1 call. Only about half of the agents are going to make the second call. Third call, you probably go down to about 25% or so, right? Fourth call, you probably go down to around 10%. Fifth call, you're probably looking at like 2%, right? And so that's what he's kind of getting at is that by doing just that little extra, and I like that quote that he says because by walking that extra, just that extra mile, it might take you an extra 15, 20 minutes. That extra 15 or 20 minutes could have a significant impact on your business because other people aren't willing to walk that extra mile, right? And so we got to get really, really good at that. So how do we do better, do you think, or what's some strategy you guys don't want to use this time? We got a little bit of extra time here today. To really kind of like hone in on this. So if we recognize that the challenge for most agents is conversion, how do we get better at that?
Follow up.
Okay, follow up more. Systems. What'd you say? Systems. Yeah, I think this is the big thing. Does every real estate agent on the planet know that we need to do this? Yes. Then why don't we do it, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't really have this. And this is where we talk about in Keller Williams moving from E to P, right? Because ultimately everybody in this room is entrepreneurial. But some people probably prioritize, some people have systems in place so they can make sure that the important things get done. And so if we're just kind of winging it, sometimes people get followed up with and sometimes they don't. Right? If our businesses are chaos, then sometimes we're not going to get the things done that we need to get done. So I think systems is definitely a really good one. Right? What else?
A tailored offer, which
Tailored offer. Explain to the crew who hasn't really learned what that does mean yet.
So
What the offer?
The big offer for immediate response. So what I mean by tailored is like with the people that you meet at face value, you're just trying to initiate a response, which can be a follow-up.
Yeah, and so the main offer for immediate response that Charles was talking about is again, what could I say to a potential lead that will get them to, actually have a conversation? And I think that's one of the things we probably should discuss here a little bit too is in Keller Williams' world, it used to be a met and an we don't really use that terminology anymore. It's more of a lead and contact. What's the difference between a lead and a contact? Anybody?
You have their information as a contact.
It's about half of it, right? I could have all the information for a lead too, right?
Maybe somebody
interested and a contact with somebody that's just.
Well,
Wait.
I got a contact that's actually interested with. Right? It's the two-way part. Is a lead is what we're categorizing as somebody that I have their information, but it's only a one-way conversation. I'm reaching out to them, but they're not responding back to me yet. Right? A contact is somebody that we're having two-way conversations with. I know this person, or even if I don't know this person, I've had a conversation with this person. I know what their real estate goals are, and I have an idea around kind of like what they want to do. So then I can customize my pitch to those people a little bit more. So a lead, again, is, somebody that Charles come in my open house, there are people in the open house, and I don't really get a chance to have a conversation with them, but he leaves his information on my register. Now I would still probably classify Charles as a lead and not a contact, because I don't know what your real estate goals or your real estate plans. So I can't customize a pitch, right? So that's the thing we need to make sure that we're doing with our contacts is, once we have had a conversation and we know with them and we know what their objectives are around real estate, then we can put them on an appropriate follow-up plan. If Charles is looking at buying or selling in the next 12 months, it's going to be a little bit more intense about actually taking action in real estate. Or if Joel is, yes, I still want to make sure I have Joel on a follow-up plan, because I want his referrals, and when it's ready for me, ready to do business again, I still want to be able to get his business in the future. But he's going to be on a little bit different point, because I'm not going to be sitting him like, hey, check out this new listing, Joel. I want to send that in the market. I don't want to send something like that to you, because and so we can customize those messages. A mover is really something that you can use for both a lead and a contact. It depends on the response that you want to get from that particular person, right? And we generally associate a mover with those, it's more of those people who are leads. We're trying to get them off of leads. I've been emailing, I've been texting, I've been calling Charles. Charles is not getting back to me. He's not getting back to me. What offer could I throw out there to Charles that's going to get him and say, okay, John, I'm picking up the phone, right? And there's lots different, and I think that's one of the things we're going to probably do next month. We're going to do a mover workshop on for creating movers. So, like examples of some really famous movers. I know one of the ones that we had a program called 72 Sold, and their thing was, we guarantee we'll get your house within 72 hours. Okay, cool. As a seller, I want to hear about this program because you're guaranteeing my house is going to get, I'm going to get an offer within 72 hours of listing. Right? Tell me more. Maybe, hey, you know what, if your house doesn't, and I know there have been programs that are out there that, hey, your house doesn't sell in the first week, we'll buy it, right? Or, hey, nobody else is offering that, tell me more. So what are things that we could offer people? So they're going to get them to say, well, that's something that's different. That's something that not everybody is offering. I probably should take, Daniel's call because I haven't seen this before, and that sounds intriguing, right? So coming up with really good numbers based on, again, things that we might know about a particular person, super valuable. What else can we do to make sure that our follow-ups are really good? I want to break this one down actually a little bit more. When we say systems, how do you think about systematizing follow-up?
I would schedule out Monday through Sunday, my calls and shows. Or not even calls, I just touches.
So I think scheduling time, having a schedule, time blocking is super important, right? Because if we're not prioritizing the things that are most important, what typically ends up happening?
You don't know.
They don't get done. Right? So I don't have a schedule to make sure that I did this particular task that's vital to my business, but it ends up happening. I'll get to it later in the day today. I'm going to focus in on this right now. It's maybe not as important. Maybe I feel more like to me this right now than the activity that's actually really important. So I prioritize the thing that's less important, and I put off the lead generation or the lead follow-up. And then now typically what ends up happening is either I get tired later in the day, or I get distracted with something else, or my world starts blowing up, and I got clients calling me and things, and I'm starting to manage escrows, and I don't get that follow-up. So making sure that we schedule that out and get into a routine. Here's my days, here's my times, and I'm gonna be making sure that I'm connecting with the people who are going to actually drive my future business forward. Has to get done, right? So I like scheduling and touches. What else? When we think about trying to create a system, what's important?
Having an outline plan of how you process an action, or let's say your online leads come in, you know, what's your process? Something that you can do.
Yeah, I really like this one too, because that's one of the things I think is super important is, we gotta also systematize or prioritize our leads as they come in. Because, you know, Daniel, that lead could come in, and he told me that he's probably 2 years away from wanting to do anything. Do I wanna make sure I'm following up with Daniel over those 2 years? Yeah. But am I gonna place a priority on Daniel right now? Probably not. And then Rocio told me that she's looking at doing something within the next year. Okay, cool. So now I know that, you know, Rocio takes a little higher priority than maybe Daniel. But she's within the next 12 months. And then Charles told me that he's probably 6 months out, so then he gets a little bit higher priority. And then Robert tells me, actually hasn't been done this one. He's like, I think house in 45 days, my wife is going to get here, or my fiance is going to get here, and we're going to be homeless, and that can't happen. I was like, cool, you are the best buyer I ever spoke to. Because I knew that he was motivated, right? So now that's what we really need to do is we got to prioritize our leads. So we're looking at, hey, hot for people that are ready right now, people that might be 6 to 12 months out for warm, and then I wouldn't call them cold, I just don't like that word, but maybe the ones that are outside of 12 months, you know, I want to make sure that I'm nurturing those relationships too, right? So we have to, I think, one, schedule our touches. Hey, what are the touches going to look like? And we have to prioritize our people as well too. And prioritizing, I basically say, hey, anybody that's ready right now, that's hot. Anybody that is, you know, 6 to 12 months, maybe that's warm, and then anybody that's over 12 months, I'm just going to class. I'm not going to call it cold. I'm going to just say that's more of a long-term nurture, right? It's important about making sure that you're doing it. We want to make sure we're spending our time. It's going to actually get conversion rates. Because if I'm spending a lot of time on Daniel, because I think Daniel's going to be, if Daniel wants, hey, Lucille wants to buy a $1 million house, Joel wants to buy a $750,000 house, but I want to prioritize Daniel, he wants to buy a $10 million mansion, right? So I'm spending all this time focusing on Daniel, but he's 2 years away, and in the meantime, I'm not. So I want to make sure that I am prioritizing the business, so that I know who's ready that I need to be focused in on now, and then who do I still need to maintain, you know, relationship with, but it's not as urgent, right? And I always coach agents to do the same thing in their open house, because sometimes we'll hold an open, 20, 30 people will come into an open, and maybe 10 are in the open house at the same time. And the last thing I want to be doing is to be sitting having this long conversation with Joel. Joel comes in and we really hit it off, and we're having good conversation and stuff like that. And all these people are coming to the open, but I'm focused on Joel. Rocio walks in and walks out without me having a conversation with her. She's actually ready to buy, and Joel basically never going to buy her. Right? So you have systems in place in an open house to be able to sit through the people as well too. So scheduling our touch is super important. Outlining in our process. How is those touches going to look, right? Making sure we're prioritizing our leads. Those are really, really important too. Notes, see that, right? Also, ladies, what not Right? You don't need to necessarily do that anymore, right? You should be utilizing, if not command, some sort of CR. Or at least a spreadsheet, to keep track of all that. Had a master client that he liked to utilize command, but he felt more comfortable with spreadsheets, and so, like literally all of his pipeline was on a spreadsheet. He knew what they were looking for, what their timelines were, all of that, all these notes were in the spreadsheet, so he could really track who he needed to prioritize. And so having some sort of system that works for you, really important. And we have to have that pipeline set up, because ultimately, if we don't, we're not gonna know where our next is coming from, or if we have something like that set up. Hey, you know what, I need to get a closing. Who is the closest in my pipeline to actually doing something? I gotta make sure that I'm staying on top of that person. Right, so that things don't slip through the cracks. So what are some really good follow-up strategies? So if we talk about touches, what are some really good touches that we do? What's going to be the most meaningful touch that you can, especially in our day and age right now? Call definitely, because now that is, you don't need to make calls, but the calls are great. Why? It's human to human interaction, it's not automated. And that always is a little bit more meaningful. What else?
Text message.
Text message probably, you know, a close second to a call, depending on what age bracket you're in. Right? If you call my daughters, you're not going to get them on the phone, but if you text them, you'll text them. Right?
Maybe there's schedule a coffee.
Meeting face to face. One of the top agents I know in the world is a guy named Bob Macedo. He's this team sells like 2,000 homes a year, and Bob, you would think that he wouldn't do a lot of the dirty work. He goes out there and does open houses all the time. He said, I just like to get belly to belly. And so you're getting that face to face is super important. I think one of the things that's also really, really important as we're scheduling our touches and thinking about our touches is, give me an example, right? My technology classes, I go over this a lot, but this is not even necessarily a tech. I'm just talking about the kind of messaging that you send to somebody, right? Old school marketing, give you an example, Target. Right, my wife asks me, to sign up for a Target account like 4 years ago, because you signed up for a Target app and you registered for an account with Target. They gave you like a 15% like coupon, and my wife wanted to make a big purchase, and so that gave us 50% off. So as soon as I sign up for Target's, account, the next day and every day thereafter, I get an email. Now, the email is not anything personalized to me. It's something that they probably send to millions of people that have registered for the Target. Okay, that's cool. But after about 2 or 3 days of opening those emails, I recognize there's nothing in there that people see. So I stop opening the emails unless there's something specifically in the headline that makes me want to open the email. Right? Where if you look at something like Amazon, because they have a lot of AI stuff that tracks things, it's like, hey, John, you were looking at this shirt yesterday. You didn't buy it. You think you might want to look at it. Yeah, okay, cool. And then I bought it. Right? Hey, John, you bought that shirt yesterday. Hey, there's this really great hat that I think would go along with that really well too. And you think you should take a look at that. Yeah, cool. I love that. Right? Hey, John, here's these shoes would go well with that hat and that shirt. We think you probably would like that. Okay, cool. And then the next day, hey, John, you probably have no idea what this is. So based on everything that we know about you, and we know an awful lot, we track everything you do, we think you would probably like this. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I have zero idea what this is, but I'm going to press one button and it can be here by for free. Right? And so what's the difference between those two styles of like communicating?
One's more tailored.
One's tailored, one's not. One's a one size fits all, the other one's not. So that's what we also, as we're looking at our touch plans, or maybe we're creating our touch plans for 2025, how can we make it a little bit more personalized for the person so that it resonates? Because I'm going to open up things that I feel are specific to me. But if it's hey, you know what, this is a one size fits all blast that goes out to everybody, not me. So I might not engage with it as much. What are some other effective techniques for making sure that we are having good touches with people? Give you a hint. When we have communication with people, write that stuff down or put notes into our CRM. Because one of the best ways to get people to buy into to feel value, think about it like this. How do you feel about the interactions if somebody calls you and dives straight into business, or if they proceed having that conversation by mentioning or bringing up something that you guys previously talked about? Hey, Guillermo, I know last we talked, you said that little Timmy wasn't feeling well. Is everything okay? You feeling better? Okay.
Your way of catering.
Yeah, it's-
Getting to know them and being like, oh, you mentioned last time that you wanted this and that, like, you know, or oh, how's practicing, I heard that. So
yeah, so whatever you had a conversation, you're taking notes, and then that way, when you call again, you can kind of, it just creates a little bit easier bridge, right? Because now it's kind of like you know, in writing or in movies, having a really good transition that leads from one thing to the next versus where did that come from? That came from, you know, like left field, right? And so always kind of linking up prior conversations so that you can build on to the next one, really, really valuable as well too, right? And then how do we provide value to our people in general?
by catering to their needs, like you're already.
But what as a real estate agent, what can we send it's value?
Free information.
Free information about what?
Service companies.
Hey, sure. Somebody needs to have a mover or landscaper or this, that, so we have our good roster of vendors. That's especially local vendors, that's super valuable. What else? Market information, you guys are supposed to be the expert on that, right? So here's what's going on in your areas, your interests. Provide. Right? Be knowledgeable about this. You provide. Right? Be knowledgeable about estate planning, especially if you're selling here, because we have a little bit older demographic. That's the concern that a lot of them have is, you know, how do I transfer my wealth later? Right? So really knowing your market and then finding out things that are top of mind to them, and being really knowledgeable about that, especially as it relates to real estate, those are good things we can have conversations about, or good things that we can send that will get people to convert. Okay. And I think at the end of the day, this is probably one of the ones that's really important that a lot of people miss. Is just making sure that you set that schedule up. Okay. All right, so I got a quick activity for you guys that I want you guys to do. Homework. And it's not going to be too hard. All right, so what I want you guys to do is on the right names of 3 leads that you haven't followed up with this week or in a week. Commit to reaching out today, and then track the results. I want to do a little test here to see what happens when we actually do this. So next team meeting, I'm going to ask y'all to share what happened when you followed up with those 3 leads.
Another question.
Yeah.
Say, you know, you get 3 or 4 leads from an open house. Like, what is the standard procedure? How often did you follow up with
I think that just depends, because at the end of the day,
And it's like a cold lead, like they mentioned, they're in the market at the open house, but.
it depends on if they're being
Really
responsive.
getting communication out.
Yeah, I think it depends on the responsiveness, is, because I'm not gonna see you every day. If I called you yesterday, you told me, John, I'm looking at moving for the next 6 months. Here's kind of like how you can assist me. Well, cool, I'm not gonna call you, I'm gonna get shocked. The next day, you're gonna say, John, you stopped yesterday, why are you calling me already? Right? So, now in terms of an unresponsive lead, I'm gonna stop you. Because, you know, Ben Kenny, who's one of the top agents in KW, practically #1. He used to put people, his leads on what he called 10 days of pain. Because he said that, one of two things was going on. And what 10 days of pain was, is for 10 consecutive days, you're gonna get a, like phone call, text, email from me, every single day. Right? And then after 10 days, he said one of two things is going to happen, and either I'm okay with either one. Is one, you're gonna file a restraining order against me, talking to you, and he's gonna say, and you're gonna tell you that you buzz off. And he said, I'm good with that, because now I know that that's not somebody that I gotta chase anymore. So if they tell me, you know, pound sand again, cool. Now I don't have to waste my time. So he said that one of two things is gonna happen. You're either gonna become my client, or you're going to file a restraining order. I'm good with either one. Right? And so there's not, if somebody's unresponsive, there's not too much necessarily follow-up in that particular sense. And so I know a lot of agents, what they'll do is, again, Ben had what we call 10 days of pain. There's a lot of people that put people on what they call 5x5. And 5x5 is some sort of contact, you know, for 5 different methods of communication, 5x5 ways. I'm gonna hit you up on social media, I'm gonna hit you up on text, email, phone call, methods. Right? So there's not too much follow-up. Now, once they communicate back with you, then you need to assess, okay, well, that's a whole different set of follow-up. Right? Any other questions? So commit to contacting three leads today that you know, and then track the results, and then let's see what happens, and after that's for the next meeting. And that takes us right to, you know, there's only one house on tour today, so you guys can all go and check out the one house as far as that goes. But I hope everybody has a really, really amazing Thanksgiving, and it's been a really great year, and thank you for all of you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Good question, guys. If you guys have any off-market list properties that you guys have, if you want me to blast it out to the office, let me know, because I'm making. Yeah. Thank you.
Breakfast food's going on.